You're listening to episode 1 of the Women's Fitness Podcast with Kelly Bakewell PT and Iszi Lawrence. The information in this podcast should not be taken instead of medical advice. We are not doctors, just passionate about fitness, progress and feeling good. You can find out more about us at womensfitnesspodcast.com. But for now, time for some real talk about the mess, stress and silliness that will get you achieving your goals. Hello, I'm Iszi Lawrence. I am not a qualified PT. I'm a person who goes to the gym and does jiu-jitsu. Opposite me is Kelly Bakewell, PT.
Actually qualified PT too.
Actually qualified.
Actual qualified.
Like, with clients and everything.
Yeah, and like papers saying that I can do things.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got none of that. Oh, I've got a degree in geography.
Good.
So that is a science.
Well, I'm particularly bad at geography, so we're going to work well together.
I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. So basically, we decided to start a podcast because there doesn't seem to be a sort of fitness podcast for women about women. It's all about blokes, and
by blokes for women.
Yeah. Which is a bit different. Because I'm a big fan of podcasts. I like to listen to them a lot, and a lot of them are very diet based. So you've got people talking about different keto diets and paleo diets and all the rest of it. And it's interesting, but it's only a tiny part of the fitness lifestyle. And I thought, after being in a few of your classes, beautifully called Legs, Bums and Tums.
Yeah, I wanted to call it glutes class, but
yeah, it is a glutes class.
It is basically just glutes, yeah.
You feel it the next day in one area, or a couple of areas really, technically, one on the left and one on the right.
Yeah, that would count, definitely.
Yeah. So what I thought we should do is talk a little bit about us, talk a little bit about why we're doing this podcast, and so how did you get started in the whole sort of like fitness journey?
Well, my fitness journey started quite a long time ago. It didn't actually. I started out life, weirdly enough, as a financial advisor.
Oh.
Well, not started out life, because that'd just come right out the womb. You'd have like really good finance advice. Went, buy stocks and shares, brilliant. But I always wanted to be a hairdresser, but my mum said there was more money in kind of law and that sort of thing. So I studied that first, then went into that. And then I got disillusioned with it all, packed it all in, became a makeup artist for MAC. And then went on to hair, because I kind of saw how much women rely on makeup for their confidence. And then I threw some hair in there as well, because I used to do modelling, so I used to have to do my own hair. And then I was like, well, I can make people feel really good with their hair and makeup, so what's the next step to that? Something that's a little bit more permanent. So that kind of led me to fitness, and having fibromyalgia and scoliosis, I kind of worked really hard on my own fitness to avoid having to have operations, and just giving me the energy to kind of cope with the fibromyalgia. And then thought, people need to know this. People need to know that there are different options, and that it can just change everything.
Yeah, because I started in fitness because at the age of 25, having done no exercise, I basically was getting fat.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of people's...
I know. So I did what every single woman does when she feels a bit fat is, I will run, and realised I couldn't run very far, so ran a lot of short distances and gradually built it up to nearly a mile. And it stuck there for about 6 or 7 years until my back finally gave out. I know. That's my record speed.
7 years to do 1 mile. Yes.
But yeah, no, that is what happened. And basically, I had no muscles in my upper body at all. When I first went to the gym, I couldn't press the bar, which is...
I mean, the bar is 20 kilograms, so that's like no mean feat, actually, for a woman to press a bar.
Indeed, but I couldn't do it at all. And it was kind of, my upper body strength is much better than it was, but it's still bad. But the point was that, I got to a point where my back was giving out all the time. I knew I needed to build up muscle to help it. Either that or take a lot of opiates. And I thought, that's not a good way to go.
Nope.
So I thought, I'll build up the muscle. How do I do that? I'll do a sport. And I just randomly just went, which sport? I quite like MMA. So I'll do some sort of fighting.
I love fighting.
Yeah. So
We're from the north.
Get ready. Yes, exactly. That was the most appropriate accent for that sentence. I'm like, Glaswegian. I like fighting. That was my Glaswegian accent, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare for more accents.
I'm really happy that you put a label on that accent so that we didn't all
Thank you. Thank you. No, okay, so, anyway, so I took up jiu-jitsu, which is good. It helps, it's a lot of,
Anger out.
Exactly, but it didn't really help my back, and so I knew I needed to strengthen it, so last year I joined a gym, and now I am all, like, fit and shit.
You're like on the daily.
Yeah, I go there. I'm 5 or 6 days a week. Yeah, it's something I'm really enjoying, and it's something that I never realised, because when I was a teenager, PE was for the thick kids who couldn't do the science, and I could do the science. So obviously, the only reason why you'd run around and do anything like that is because only stupid people do that, because they're stupid and that's all they can do. Is literally the thought process that I had as a child, right? And as a result, I just wasn't interested in sport. I thought that was for other people. And I never connected the idea that my brain is part of my body.
That is true. Sometimes.
And the idea of actually going for a run or going and doing some, a workout actually makes you happy. And it's just the psychology of it that just completely changed my outlook on the whole thing. And I was like, oh my God. And this isn't a new thing, like, if you read Aristotle
at all.
Exactly. No. But if you read like the ancient Greek stuff, they're all about the philosophers, they're all about it.
Yeah.
They're all about the virtues of, like, athletically training as well as reading books.
Well, in Roman times, the gladiators were treated like, I guess how America treats wrestling stars now, like the big stars. They were revered, the gladiators, as just perfect and superstars. Because obviously they didn't have telly then. So
every time you say gladiators, I just picture a wolf.
I know, I do. Well, I'm following Helen Panther on. She's on Instagram.
I've got to follow her now.
I don't know what just happened to my voice. You'll get used to that as well. I have many voices. Many voices.
That was your Instagram voice.
That was my up and down kind of...
Helen Panther on Instagram.
She's on Instagram. I was like, this is amazing. She's got a gym and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, I don't know. I didn't read I lost interest in the bio bit. I was
exactly.
just like, oh my God.
No, it is. But I'd watch that as a kid and just think, that's other people. But I enjoyed it.
I wanted to be Jet because she did that flick it, like
she did the
air cartwheel.
Kick. Yeah, one-legged kick.
Yeah.
So she kind of just kicked. That is basically what I have to do for jitsu, which is an over the belt, but you land on your leg rather than land on the floor on your side. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it just looks kick-ass, doesn't it?
Yeah, literally.
I think that's like one of the main things I try and tell people about when they're doing the gym is it is physical, obviously, but the mental change is huge. I've already seen so many changes in my clients' mental state since they first came to me, and then it kind of just does make you feel like a warrior, and you can take away that guilt of giving yourself a little bit of time, because we're so busy now that we feel bad if we have a little bit of me time. Like if you sit down in front of the telly, you're like, I should really be doing this. So when you're in the gym, you have no choice but to give yourself a bit of time, and it just does people the world of good.
It does. I can't emphasise enough how it makes you happy. Weirdly,
with the pain.
But running never did.
No,
Running for me, it was always about, I wouldn't say self-punishment, but it had that, that sort of thing of going.
I feel like something you had to do because you hadn't found the enjoyment in it.
Yeah, and my technique was awful. I was jarring my spine all the time. Not good. So when we first sort of sat down together in a coffee shop and said, we should do a podcast. One thing that you brought up, which I thought was really interesting, and not many women, well, we know this, but we are not mini men.
No, we're definitely not, as far as I'm aware.
No, I'm taller than a lot of men. So
yeah, you're definitely not a large man.
But the whole idea that we should be training differently to men.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't do weights. Weights are like most encouraged for women, especially when you do the research into it and see how it helps with even bone strength, coordination, things that you're going to use outside of a gym. I mean, I'm probably not going to lunge away from like an attacker, but I'd probably be able to punch her in the face really quite hard.
Nice.
And but it's just realising that our upper bodies are not as strong, so bench press is harder, pull-ups are harder, because we have to drag our legs up. Legs and bums, that's where we hold all our weight. Men don't. Our pelvises are bigger, slightly different shape. So the way that we squat and deadlift is going to be a little bit different. Plus we have monthly cycles. So if you suffer really badly from that, you should really look at training in a cycler fashion.
Cycler?
Yeah, I was trying to think of saying that word, and I'm like, don't go cycler.
Yeah, I was like, I was going. Now I'm confused. Now I'm thinking, is it secular?
It might be secular.
It might be secular. That sounds like a bit wrong.
A way that goes with that cycle that you have.
Yes, that thing.
Nailed
that
it.
thing. Let's not talk about women's issues. Period.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. but it does make a huge difference. I remember, like, one fact which you told me once is that you can injure your knees more easily.
Yeah, during a specific time in your month, your ACL,
which is in your knee.
In your knee. And your muscles in general and your ligaments are a little bit looser and are prone to injury just around that time. So you feel like it's a bit unfair, because you usually at your very strongest right in the middle of your cycle, but that's when you can usually hurt yourself the most, which seems a bit unfair.
That's a bit self-sabotaging.
You feel like a superhero. We're like, oh, mind your knees though.
So what is it? I mean, so the ACL is the crisscrossy bit in your knee, isn't it? That stops you sort of like...
Stops your knees just going sideways.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And tearing it is quite easy, as far as I can work out from hearing about footballers.
Yeah.
That's the thing that goes.
Cruciate ligaments, like Achilles and all that sort of thing. Ligaments are they're really quite stretchy, kind of elastic bands sort of thing, but you can only put an elastic band too far. And then as they get older, if you have like, you remember when you pick up an old elastic band and you've seen
crumbles.
it, and it's just do that thing where you can see it just going. It's kind of like that, so that was a great analogy. Old elastic band legs.
Yes, and so what happens, why is it during that time of the month that they go a bit weird?
It's just the hormones.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the same with, weirdly enough, when you're pregnant, because you release a muscle relaxant hormone. And I'm not sure if that's actually the case with time of the month hormones, to be honest, because obviously I'm not a doctor, but I think it works in a similar-ish sort of way. And the hormone that's released in women when they're pregnant is to relax the pelvis muscles for you to give birth. Because you don't want tight muscles trying to push something that big out. So you get a relaxant, and that has effect on obviously all the muscles in the body. So pregnant women working out, if they've worked out before they got pregnant, should carry on. If they didn't work out before they were pregnant and suddenly go, oh my god, I'm pregnant, I feel rubbish, I should start working out, that's where the difficulty would be.
Okay, and that's where they might pull something and...
Yeah, tear something, put extra strain on the baby, that sort of thing. But if you're trying to get pregnant, then being healthy is obviously one of the best things to do. So if you can start going to the gym before you're thinking about getting pregnant, then you can carry on a long way through your pregnancy. And there's some really, really interesting pregnancy fitness journeys on Instagram, just watching the way they go. And quite a lot of them are real life as well, so you'll see them going, I 100% did not want to be here today, and my bum is now the size of my belly. So, quite good.
I do like that about Instagram accounts, which are very honest.
I love an honest Instagram.
Yeah, I often find myself in it particularly just before jitsu, where I just go, actually, I could just have a sleep right now, and I've got to deal with a man trying to hit me in the face. Because I do Japanese jiu-jitsu, so it's not all Brazilian on the floor rolly time. It's more avoid the punch, throw him on the floor, which is all about timing. It's all about agility, and also annoyingly grip strength, which
we had a chat about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I did judo for many years, and that's like full contact, obviously. So and you spend most of your time with people trying to either strangle you, arm lock you, or throw you on the floor. So
it's fun.
It's a lot of fun, but if you don't fall right and you bang your head, it's the worst feeling ever. You're like, I might be sick.
Yes, this is, if you don't fall right, or if somebody throws you off the mat.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been thrown fully off the mat, but I have done it where my break falling hand slapped the wood, and the sting. But then it's good because that means the energy's the energy's going through my hand, so it means it wouldn't be going through my body as much if I actually had to break fall outside properly. But yeah, the athletic side of it, the sort of gymnastic side of jiu-jitsu, I find terrifying and brilliant.
It's pushing yourself to do different things, isn't it? So I have to always say to my clients when they say that something's hard, I mean, it's really lovely for me to see the progress of someone who couldn't even do one squat unaided with good form, getting on to kind of squatting some barbells and the look of achievement on them. But I've said to them that it's never going to stop hurting. You'll always have kind of some sort of DOMS in some way, because when I'm doing leg press, from the first day when I went and I was doing
ridiculous leg press the other day. I
started on about 35 kilograms and now I'm on my maximum. My 1 rep max is 152.
Jeez.
But obviously that is still hard, and it's as hard as it was when I first started out at 30, and people look at you and assume that because you're lifting those weights and you've been in the gym and you're in a certain shape that they're like, oh, it's alright for you, working out's easy. It never gets easy, because as soon as it's easy, put the weight up or you change the exercise. It's hard, it's always hard.
This is what I've found with because my gym obviously does classes, because you take a few of them, and you turn up at the class and it never gets easier because they always push you.
Exactly, and it's getting changed around.
Yeah.
So it's always, the only way to keep growing is either more reps, more weight. You do have to have deload weeks and that sort of thing, really.
What do you mean by a deload week?
Well, I work out 6 days a week. So I do upper, lower. 6, yes. To train at that intensity, because I lift heavy weights, so I don't really do a lot of cardio like you do.
I like cardio.
I hate cardio.
Makes me happy.
Bad.
I was a good doggy. I will rap. To be fair, the cardio I do, very little of it is long, steady cardio. It's very intense, nothing. So it's
or high intensity, as it's not.
Or high intensity. Shut up! I'm not a PT. I am just a doggy who does tricks. That sounds so wrong.
It did.
Yeah, thank you. But I realised, I would make an excellent dog. If I wouldn't, I'm too old now to be a dog, so I'd be dead. But
I'd have trouble doing what I was told. I'd be more like a cat.
See, I'm really good at being told when somebody in a class goes, do this, and I go, I don't want to do that, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
Don't want to do this
I'd
at
be
all.
like, why though?
Yeah.
Tell me exactly why, and then if I benefit, I will do this.
It's Sabian with his warm up when he shouts out 1. You're doing high knees, shouts out 1, do a burpee, jump up. High knees, when he shouts out 1, you do a burpee. And he starts going, go 1! And you go down, do the burpee, get up, and high knees. And he goes, 1! And then there's a point when you're about 7 in, he goes, 1! Like that. And everybody else just looks at him and just goes, no. And I do it.
Because you've been told. Yeah, so deload week. See how easy we got off topic.
Yeah, no, it's good.
A deload week is when, instead of taking a week off the gym, which obviously you can do, but you might feel either, especially if you've been going for quite a long time and you've gotten into that routine, even if you go on holiday, you kind of have that feeling where you're like, it's harder to get back into the gym.
Oh, I see, okay.
So a lot of people use that as an excuse when they come back from holiday. They're like, I'll start again on Monday, because it's so easy to get out of the habit. And if you're using it to kind of calm yourself mentally, then taking a whole week off the gym might be quite difficult. So a deload week is where you just do a week of your same exercises but at a really light weight and concentrate on form. And it gives your tendons and your muscles and everything else just a chance to be okay. Because we tend to leave 48 hours in between a specific muscle exercise. But your tendons, your ligaments, all that sort of thing is still having to change. So if you have that deload week, you just come back much fresher. And most of the time you come back stronger as well. And your form's a bit better. That starts growing as you get heavier. You're like, I'm just going to do this. I don't care if I'm sideways. Yeah. That's pretty much like me on the leg press last night. I was like, oh my god, this hurts so much. Just push.
Oh, yes. It's hard to concentrate when you've got that much weight on your back as well doing squats. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't squat 150 kilograms. This is leg press.
Yeah, I understand. But it's a similar movement. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on 100 kilograms on squats, but
I'm on 90.
That's on top of me rather than in front of me.
Have you got a question for us? Get in touch on Facebook. Find us on Instagram using the hashtag WOMFITPod. That is WOMFITPOD. And on Twitter at WOMFITPod. Or go to the website womensfitnesspodcast.com. The whole idea of the podcast is that the people listening... Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You sounded really comforting then, and I just sounded like a weirdo.
Well,
hi.
It's the accent. Yeah. But no, what we're going to do is we're going to basically answer the questions which are going to come up. So people, if you've got a question, like you want to get started in fitness, or you've been doing, so, you want to know what's good for, upper body work to get stronger, like a man, without looking like one maybe, or to... you might have different goals and you might be feeling bad about your diet, or you might not understand why you aren't getting stronger. You might be stuck in a bit of a rut. You might not know how to approach a PT and get them to do the thing you want to do. We're going to ask you to send us questions, and when you do that, we will try and answer them every single week. Is the idea, isn't
that's
it?
The idea.
That is, and then hopefully you'll spread the words and people will listen and will be able to do stuff. But I thought, as a sort of starting off question, which would be, will be quite a fun one, is what is the one thing, like the top thing, that you wish you'd taken seriously, or you wish you'd known when you first started working out? What is the one thing, do you reckon, that...
I think that the majority of the people in the gym are not there to look at you. So don't worry about it. So I was very conscious when I first started out, the same as pretty much everyone is, that especially like about sweating and lifting faces or making a noise. And now I'm like, sweat dripped off my ear the other day and I was like, yeah, I'm working really hard. And when I first started, I'd be like, oh no, I'm sweating everywhere. My top lip sweats. And it's just like the reason for me for the podcast is to get across like hashtag real talk, because you don't really, when you're on Instagram you will see bikini fitness models and all that sort of thing, and they will be posting pictures of them with abs and shredded. What you don't realise is they don't look like that the whole year, because it's very, very difficult to hold on to your abs or to hold on to that percentage body fat, and you would be really miserable. So they take loads of pictures when they're in peak season, and then the other way you know for a fact that they don't look like that the whole time is because in the next season they'll come back a little bit bigger with their muscles. You cannot grow muscle unless you eat to grow muscle. Unless you're just starting off in fitness, then you can kind of lose fat and build muscle at the same time. But for most people, you have to eat to grow, because you need those calories to grow muscle. So they don't look like that all year round. They definitely get soft in the winter.
Indeed, and they're also very young. I mean, we're both in our 30s. I hope I didn't mean to out you. But I know.
You've outed me as a 30-something.
Well, but the point is that...
I think I'm late 30s classed as now.
Oh, shh, no, you're not.
Well,
you're mid.
Is it?
Definitely mid.
All right, good. I've still got like a few months of mid then.
Yeah, I think basically we've both got at least 5 years before it's all over. And then
well, we do fitness, so I'm hoping that's going to extend.
Well, this is the thing. I think there's a lot of women, the so many different body shapes as well. If you look at CrossFit women, and if you look at powerlifting women, and all of them, like I follow a few powerlift women who are just all thigh.
Yeah, but that's what you need to do. So that's kind of that is the difference between training for aesthetics, which is what a lot of people come to me for, and training for performance. Because if you're a powerlifter, you need to have some sturdy tree trunk legs on you. CrossFit, you need every muscle. So when you're looking at kind of even marathon runners, you'll see they're very boxy in shape in the midsection because they've got such strong obliques. So they've worked everything out. Whereas your average woman wouldn't want to have a boxy oblique shape.
Well, I do, man, because I quite like the sort of
some people do. That's
tomboyish
the thing.
look.
That's why everyone's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So some people will want to look kind of really hench and muscly, but that's their preferred kind of look. So they are still training for aesthetics. And with what I do, and I wouldn't say I wanted to carve myself out a niche, but I guess that is basically what I'm saying. Because I only train women. I said no to any men that approached me for training. And I understand how the female figure works, and I understand the bits that people will want to work on. And isolation work with things like triceps, so kind of helping with bingo wings, rounded shoulders, glutes, hamstrings. So it's getting that kind of hourglass shape for a woman. If a woman came to me and said, I want your help making me skinny, I want a thigh gap, I would send it to someone else, because you have to have a fit with your personal trainer. So that I would encourage people to have like taster sessions if they can, because you don't have to train. You're going to spend time and money with that person. They need to motivate you. You need to feel inspired by them, and you have to be able to chat to them as well. If that connection doesn't happen, they're not the ones for you. It's no one's fault. They just might not suit what you're looking for.
A bit like a therapist.
Exactly like that. Yeah, exactly like that. Because I would resent someone that I didn't really like shouting at me to tell me what to do, and especially if I'm not feeling motivated. So I would recommend that people do that, and I've kind of stuck to my guns and just trained women, and I would send someone that wanted to be skinny somewhere else, because it's just not what I do. I wouldn't enjoy doing it. They wouldn't enjoy what I was doing to make them like that. So I would question what skinny meant to them.
Yeah,
but some people do just want to have that like cardio bunny shape, which is fine. Like, do that, you do that, but it wouldn't be with me.
I suppose to get that, it's just maintenance calories and then really go for cardio.
Yeah, I mean the thing with cardio is your body chooses the path of least resistance.
Yeah, so you just get better at it and don't burn
and burning less calories. Yeah, your body goes, all right, we've got this. Shut everything else down, lads. We're going to do this. Because
there's a lot of... I'm expecting us to get a lot of questions about weight loss. I'm expecting us to get a lot of questions about why can't I do a pull-up? That sort of, the thing that I've been stuck with, push-ups. I hate them.
Push-ups or pull-ups?
Both.
All right.
But I can do a pull-up. It's just push-ups. I can do 10 push-ups and then I die. That is like the hardest thing I can possibly do. And they use push-ups as warm-up in jitsu.
Yeah. Lady muscles.
Yeah.
Lady chest muscles.
Lady chest. Izzy's going to get big. I follow, people on Instagram who are quite hench. I follow the hench women because I find them really intriguing. But I have not got the body to build big muscles.
I wouldn't want to speculate, and I'm not saying this about anybody in particular, but there are kind of differences in like substances that people would use, that sort of thing. So things like female steroids, or steroid using is actually quite big in the female fitness world, like bikini models, that sort of thing.
Really? In bikini models?
Yeah, because you can use certain steroids to cut.
Yeah,
so it preserves muscle while you're dieting. This is not an advert for steroids, by the way, they're bad. But you're just looking at them taking these pictures on their best day with their best angles. You don't know...
First thing in the morning.
Exactly. You don't know what they're eating, what they're taking.
Nice and dehydrated.
Yeah. So it's difficult to look at someone and go, they're really hench, I want to look like that, and then find out that they might have been on steroids for like however long, and they work out for probably 5 hours a day, and they've got this, that and the other. So it's when, especially, it annoys me a little bit. Not annoys me... No, that's not the right word. I feel a little bit sad inside when I see someone write on my posts on Instagrams where they're like #body goals, or I really just want to look like you, and I'm like, no, you look like you, but whatever version of you think is going to be best, go for that. Don't set yourself... It's good using someone for inspiration, but don't use them for... You want to change to be that person. Inspiration's fine, but not putting yourself down because of that.
I think it's also about, and the thing that I really wish our society was more about, is not what the female body looks like, but what it can do.
Yeah, we are pretty impressive. We
are pretty awesome. And, I've done a bit of pole fitness and that sort of thing. And it really, I find once you actually pay attention and look at almost any discipline, even if it is something that I don't particularly want to do, like marathon running, and the actual, not the discipline and mentality of doing it so much as the technique and the way that they feed and the way that they understand and the way they found their own programs and everything else that works for them, the way they've been through the experiment and they've really worked at it. there's a sort of assumption, like you were saying earlier, that people look at you and just, oh, it's really easy for you. But no, it's always going to be difficult. And the fact that people push themselves and really try and reach their true potential, I think, is really inspiring. And so you could look like whatever. If you're doing that, that's the sort of person I want to be.
Exactly. Just do you, but do the best you can. And I think one of the things I get the most asked about is obviously that kind of belly fat sort of area. And I had to have this really long conversation with someone the other day, and it kind of came into my head much easier, is that women are responsible for the survival of the human race.
No biggie.
Yeah, like just standard.
I've got cats.
I've got a dog.
We're screwed.
I've got a dog. No, it's brilliant. We are doing our part. But that's, you have it. I think it's, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's about 20. We have to work about 20% harder than a man to lose the same amount of weight, like to burn the same amount of calories, because we are predisposed to hold on to a bit of fat, especially around the reproductive organs, to keep them protected, because we are the whole point where the future happens.
We also survive famines on a better rate.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because we can do that, and two, the men put us in charge of the food. The idiots.
Nice. But yeah, I did actually read that same thing about the prisoner of war camps. Like the men died off first and the women survived because they handle, once we go down to a certain calorie level, we start shutting things off and just deal with it much better, because we're there for the survival. Picture
it in winter, and assuming that you're heterosexual or bisexual and you're with your man in bed, right? Imagine, right, it's a bit cold. Who's got the cold feet and cold hands? And why do we have cold feet and cold hands? It's because our body's just gone, oh, this is inefficient. Shut them down. We've got a man here. We can put them in his cracks and make his life
miserable. His cracks. That's the big thinking. Well, that's why we're warming himself up, isn't it?
But you know, that's why we can give him a nice hug and use him to keep warm, whilst they just keep powering through, just losing heat,
totally inefficient,
burning all those calories, like completely inefficient. So I think this is why I really like doing classes and doing the fitness in terms of like jitsu and everything, because you just mix it up all the time. Your body never gets used to one exercise. But it is
about having a bit of respect for your body and an understanding for your body, and not comparing yourself to people you know nothing about. You don't know what they do, what they're taking.
But they're so pretty. They're 23 and they're so pretty.
I am actually... my body's in much better shape now than it was when I was 23.
Oh yeah, me too.
I mean, I could eat a lot and I was kind of skinny fat, which is what a kind of a term that I guess means slim, but bits of me wobbled that shouldn't have wobbled.
Yeah, I think it's the thing of like, you could technically, the amount of body fat to other lean mass you have, technically you are obese, but you're still within a normal BMI. So
I'm obese now.
Are you?
Yeah.
You do not look
apparently, because you just can't trust the scales. And I had one of them body monitor things that it said my body mass on that is getting up to the obese level because of my muscle. Wow. But if I do body fat calipers, I'm obviously not in an obese range.
Because I'm dead skinny at the moment, and I'm trying to bulk, as you know, and I'm trying to do it slowly, so I get like muscle and I don't get too chubby. Because
and you don't just put it on in the wrong places.
I know. Well, the thing is, if I just go, the easiest way to do it, I find, is to eat cake.
I mean, cake is delicious.
Yeah, but it does all just go in a ring round the middle.
I eat cake, I have cake or chocolate every day.
I have chocolate usually every day, but not like big slices of nice. Why deprive yourself?
Okay.
Indeed, happy. This is the thing. Fitness does not mean you have to be miserable. Fitness is happiness and moderation.
If you're miserable doing it, you're doing something wrong. You're not doing the right thing.
So, if you want to be happy, we have all the answers, or we don't.
Sweeping statement.
Exactly. So, get in touch. You'll have heard the. I'll put in the words.
Good.
The words, like, we'll get an email address and everything. I know, like, real things, which we'll both have access to, so we'll have, like, shared emails, so we can both buy Viagra at the same time.
Oh, amazing. Or Russian brides.
Oh, yeah.
There's many of them wanting to meet me.
Yeah. So, it's the only thing I could say. I could say, Da, ja Englishenka, which means, yes, I am English.
Good.
That's obvious if you listen to me speak Russian. But yes, so get in touch. We plan to put this out every single week.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's just
I'm looking suspiciously at Kelly, just going, she's a very busy lady.
Do you concur?
Exactly. So yeah, if you've got any questions, if you are a man and you want to help your girlfriend because you know that she's suffering with stuff, you want to support rather than dictate, that is the sort of thing we want to hear from. If you're you might be a male PT and confused about some of your female clients and why they're struggling in certain areas, and maybe we can help. If you are a woman, hello, and you're really into something and you're not getting the hang of it, get in touch. And if you want any advice at all, we will do our best to give it to you. But once again, I am just a fitness I'm a gym hare, not a gym
hare, yeah.
Gym bunny. Okay, I'm too tall to be a bunny.
I also think if you have any information for us, or you know something that we don't know, or especially if we've said something that you don't agree with or that you know better, definitely get in touch and tell us, because I love learning new things.
Exactly. If there's a way of being 23 forever, that would be...
Oh, yeah. But still knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that.
No, God, no. Oh, my God.
So...
I was living in my mother's attic.
Wow.
That was fun. Anyway, so until then, we should have like a way of saying goodbye that's like... like
we should do like a secret handshake high five so they can't see it anyway, so it doesn't matter if we don't do it.
Should we? Nah.
That was awful. Wow. Thumbs up happened. That was like doing high fives and missing.
We are complete dorks.
Yeah, no one put thumbs up, but we both did. So,
just like, what the... Wow. Anyway, hopefully, therefore, see you next week.
Or listen to you next week.
Indeed, I suppose, but you won't see.
You can't see us.
High five on the internet.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, but before you go, please spread the word about the podcast. Write us a review on iTunes, and we want your feedback. Go to womensfitnesspodcast.com or email womensfitnesspodcast@gmail.com. You can support us financially on Patreon, and also you can follow us. You can find Kelly Bakewell PT on Facebook and Instagram as @KellyBakewellPT, and you can find Iszi, that's me, on Instagram and Twitter as @Iszi_Lawrence, that is ISZI_LAWRENCE. Music by Boothby Grapho, available on bandcamp.com. We'll see you next week. High five on the internet.